Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place you come to when you want to sift through the noise and really find those actionable insights.
That's right. And today we've got a really important topic, I think, for anyone looking to grow. Business, personal brand, you name it.
Yeah, we're talking about moving past that feeling of playing small. How do you actually use strategic partnerships to get, real visibility,
Mm,
real impact?
exactly. And specifically, we're diving into sponsorship, but uh, not like just writing a check. We mean sponsorship as a deliberate strategy.
Okay, so where are we drawing from today?
Our source is a really focused segment from the Abundance Blueprint podcast. It was their episode 60, a Tuesday tips piece called Sponsorship is Strategy.
Episode 60, nice milestone for them.
Yeah, and our goal here is to pull out the key nuggets. We want to understand the what, sure, but more importantly, the why. Why is sponsorship such a powerful tool for, well, speeding up growth?
Okay, got it. And the original source, it sounds like they set a pretty strong tone right from the start.
Oh, definitely. They framed it as the month of opening letters. I love that metaphor.
Opening letters.
Mhm.
What does that mean in this context?
It's about, no more hiding, no more waiting around hoping someone discovers you. It's about actively stepping up.
I like that. Less passive hope, more active. Do it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And they even gave it a color orange for creativity, courage, moving forward. The message was basically act now while the opportunity is right there.
Orange. Bold. Okay, so it sets the stage for action. That framing itself feels strategic, doesn't it?
It really does. It
Yeah.
shifts your mindset immediately, which honestly is half the battle, right? Moving from passive to active. That's the core of what we're digging into.
Absolutely. It's about taking control. So how do they illustrate this? I heard there's a story.
Yes, a really great one. It's about Marisol, the owner of Marisol's Kitchen. And her situation is just so relatable.
Okay, tell me about Marisol.
Well, she poured everything into her catering business. Her arroz con pollo, her pastelitos, apparently, they were incredible. Like people lining up down the block, incredible.
Wow, okay, so quality wasn't the issue.
Not at all. But the problem was, outside her immediate circle, her neighborhood, nobody really knew about her. She was kind of stuck in that classic situation, waiting to be discovered, hoping the amazing food would be enough on its own.
Yeah. I know that feeling. You're great at what you do, but getting seen, that's a whole other challenge. Can feel intimidating.
Exactly. So her goal was pretty clear. More visibility. She was dreaming bigger corporate events, schools, city gigs, but, stuck waiting.
So what did she do? What was the big move?
Instead of just being another food vendor at a community festival, setting up a booth, hoping people buy things,
The usual approach.
right? She did something bolder. She became a sponsor of the festival.
Oh, interesting. So not just selling, but partnering.
Exactly. That meant her logo was on the flyers. Her business name was announced from the stage. Suddenly, she wasn't just Marisol selling food. She was Marisol's Kitchen, a festival partner.
Okay, that's a significant shift in positioning. How did that work out?
It was, as the source puts it, transformative, a real game changer.
Really? What happened?
Local businesses started calling her. People who saw her name, heard the announcement. Even a city office reached out, invited her to bid on catering contracts, things she'd only dreamed of before.
Wow, just from that one move.
Just from that one strategic move. And her big realization, the key takeaway, the source highlights, was this. Sponsorship isn't charity, it's strategy.
Sponsorship isn't charity, it's strategy. That's powerful.
It really is. It's not just giving money away, it's investing, calculated investing in your visibility, your credibility.
Marisol's story just perfectly nails it, doesn't it? That shift from waiting passively to actively, strategically aligning yourself. It just unlocks doors you didn't even know were there.
It's fascinating how one move just completely repositioned her, from vendor to partner. That's the power of thinking strategically about where you put your resources and your name.
Okay, so that shift from charity to strategy is huge. But let's get practical for a moment. For someone listening, maybe feeling like they're starting small, what are the, say, top 2 or 3 things they should figure out before they even approach someone about sponsorship? How do they make sure it is strategic and not just, an expense?
That's a great question. And the source, through the examples it gives later, kind of implies a framework. First, you absolutely need clarity on your objective. What do you actually want to achieve?
Like more brand awareness or actual leads.
Exactly. Or maybe breaking into a new market. Or maybe it's about reputation, aligning with a certain cause. Your goal dictates the kind of sponsorship that makes sense.
Okay, define the objective. What's second?
Second, you've got to research the potential partner, the event, the organization, whatever it is. Really research them. Is their audience your audience?
Audience alignment. Makes sense.
Total sense. Like if you sell luxury watches, sponsoring the local school bake sale, probably not the best strategic fit, right? The demographics, the values, the whole vibe needs to match or constructively expand your target.
Right. Objective, audience alignment. What's the third?
Third is thinking beyond just like putting your logo on a banner. How can you actively engage? Can you offer something valuable? A workshop, a cool demo, maybe contribute some content that really connects.
Ah, so it's about adding value, not just being a name on a list.
Precisely. It makes you memorable. It makes you part of the experience, not just part of the advertising clutter. That elevates your presence way beyond just a financial transaction.
Those are really practical steps. Be deliberate.
Okay, and that ties into something else the source stressed, right? The cost of not doing this, the cost of delay.
Yes, and this is where it gets really interesting. They bring in the rule of 72.
The rule of 72, isn't that usually about finance? Like doubling your money?
It is, but they cleverly apply it here to visibility. The core idea they're driving home is delay is expensive. Okay, unpack that. How does the rule of 72 apply to getting seen? What's compounding visibility?
Well, think about it like this. The rule of 72 in finance tells you roughly how long it takes an investment to double based on its interest rate.
Right.
So the source suggests thinking of your visibility growth as having a kind of interest rate. Maybe it's how fast your brand recognition spreads through networks or word of mouth or media hits you get because of a strategic partnership. It's not linear growth. It's potentially exponential.
Okay, exponential growth, compounding. So how does visibility actually double in this sense? And why is delaying so costly?
Imagine that first strategic sponsorship gets you in front of, say, 100 new relevant people. That's your initial principle.
Okay.
Now, if even a few of those 100 people tell their networks, or if that initial exposure leads to a news mention or maybe an invite to speak somewhere bigger, that's the compounding effect.
Ah, like ripples spreading out.
Exactly. Your first investment doesn't just yield that first layer of 100 people. It yields subsequent layers, building on each other, often without you doing much more directly.
So the delay, it means you miss out not just on the first 100, but all the potential ripples after that.
Precisely. You're not just losing the immediate benefit, you're losing all the future compounded growth that would have stemmed from acting sooner. The longer you wait, the more layers of this potential compounding visibility you just forgo.
Wow. Okay, that really reframes the cost of inaction. It's not just static, it's an accumulating loss of future potential.
Right. It's the unseen cost of staying small, of waiting.
And the source really hammered this home, didn't they? I recall a quote.
Yeah, they said it plainly. Sponsorship scales faster than staying invisible ever will.
That's blunt and pretty motivating if you're on the fence. It makes inertia itself feel like a bad business decision.
It really does. It highlights the urgency. In today's world, being visible isn't optional. It's essential for growth. This rule of 72 idea gives you a powerful way to think about accelerating that visibility.
Okay, so how did the Abundance Blueprint podcast show this strategic alignment happening in the real world? Did they give examples?
Oh yeah, they had some great partner spotlights, really concrete examples showing how this works. They emphasized finding partners that reflect your values and expand your reach.
What was the first one?
The first one they highlighted was the Veterans Ball. They mentioned it's connected with someone named Kathy Hare.
The Veterans Ball. When and where?
November 15th at Ruth Eckerd Hall. And the Abundance Blueprint podcast, in their episode, presented this as, and I quote, the sponsorship opportunity of the year to align your business with legacy.
Align with legacy. Strong words.
Very strong. From their perspective, this wasn't just about getting your name out. It was about connecting your business to a cause with deep respect and meaning in the community.
So borrowing credibility, in a way, associating your brand with something positive and valued.
Exactly. Leveraging the emotional resonance and the inherent respect for veterans. The source even gave out a direct contact for their listeners interested in this specific opportunity. Kathy Hare's number, 813-363-7958, which just reinforces their point. This is not charity. This is strategy.
Right. It's framed as a strategic opportunity they identified for their audience. Okay. Mutually beneficial. What other examples did they give?
Another one was LDS Photography, run by LaDon and Ann. The force called them legacy keepers.
Legacy keepers. I like that. What do they do?
They capture events, weddings, community gatherings, but also branding campaigns. High-quality photography and videography, it sounds like.
Okay, professional photographers. What's the strategic angle there?
Well, the source put it beautifully. They don't just take pictures. They document your impact.
Ooh. document your impact. That's different.
Isn't it? It reframes photography from just getting nice pictures to strategically capturing and showcasing your journey, your influence, your legacy. It becomes a branding tool itself. The source pointed people to ldsphotography.net to see their work.
That's brilliant. So partnering with them isn't just hiring a vendor, it's collaborating on telling your story visually, documenting impact.
Precisely. And these two examples, the ball and the photographers, they show the diversity of strategic alignment, right? It's not just about sponsoring big events with cash. It could be partnering with a service provider whose work inherently elevates your brand and story.
Yeah, it's about finding that synergy where your missions overlap or where one partner's service amplifies the other's presence.
It's about looking for those win-win relationships that go beyond a simple transaction. It broadens the scope of what sponsorship or partnership can even mean.
That's a really important point. It's not just event sponsorship. You mentioned things like content partnerships earlier.
Absolutely. Or digital collaborations. Maybe a fitness coach and a healthy meal service doing joint webinars like you suggested. Or a tech company partnering with a cybersecurity expert for an educational series.
Right. Pooling audiences, sharing credibility.
Exactly. It's creative alignment. Find where your values and goals intersect with someone else's and figure out how you can lift each other up. It's building an ecosystem, really.
An ecosystem of support and growth. I like that.
Okay, so the source wanted people to really embrace this boldness, right? They included something else.
Yeah, they did. Recognizing that taking these bold steps often requires a mental shift first, they included a short breathwork exercise, a call to boldness.
Connecting the inner state to the outer action. Let's try it.
Okay. They guided listeners. Take a bold breath with me. Inhale for 4. Pause. Hold for 4. Pause. Exhale for 6. Pause.
Okay. Feeling a bit calmer, actually.
Right. And then the affirmation. They asked everyone to say it with them. I am bold enough to align. I am bold enough to grow.
I am bold enough to align. I am bold enough to grow. It's simple, but saying it does kind of solidify the intention, doesn't it?
It really does. It reinforces that commitment to step out of the comfort zone, which is often where this kind of strategic growth begins. So for listeners who are feeling inspired by this and want to maybe dig deeper into the original source material, the Abundance Blueprint podcast offered more, right?
They did. They mentioned having a bonus deep dive on their Patreon. They called it the Raw, Uncut Blueprint. So presumably that's where they share even more specifics or behind the scenes on their strategies.
Okay, so a deeper level for Patreon supporters.
Right. And they also mentioned a book, seemingly unrelated but clearly important to them, called I Found Out I Had Breast Cancer on My Lunch Break, available on Amazon.
Wow, okay, so personal story shared there, too.
It seems like it. And to make it easy, they put all their links, Patreon, the book, everything else in one place. Linktr.ee, Abundance Blueprint 777.
That's handy. Good to have those resources if people want to explore their content further.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It lets people go beyond our summary and connect directly with the original source and their community.
Okay, so let's bring it all back. We've covered a lot. Drawing from that Abundance Blueprint episode, what's the main takeaway for everyone listening?
I think it boils down to a few key ideas we've hit on. That staying small is a choice. That sponsorship is strategy, not charity.
Right. And Marisol's story showed that in action. The Rule of 72 showed the cost of not acting, and those partner examples showed how alignment can work.
It all points to the power of being intentional, doesn't it? Strategic alignment isn't just a nice-to-have. The source positions it as a real accelerant for growth, for building a legacy even.
Yeah, alignment as legacy.
Yeah.
That connects back to the Veterans Ball example. It's not just about immediate ROI, but building something lasting.
Exactly. It's about impact over time, amplified through smart partnerships.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave our listeners with that final provocative thought from the source, the Abundance Blueprint Podcast, Episode 60. Something to really chew on.
Ready for it?
Let's hear it.
Episode 60 is your reminder, stop waiting. Open your letter and step boldly into September.
Stop waiting. Open your letter. Step boldly. A clear call to action.